Hey all, Lost Sandman R35 coming at you from Two Guys Reviews, and here are some of my custom masks that I've made thus far for Army of Two Devils Cartel. Some of them were very difficult, and some of them were not so much. But what I'm doing right now is I'm waiting for Chewie to get home right now so we can finish up our co-op campaign in Army of Two. And I was like, yeah, you know what? While I'm waiting for him, I'm just going to make a mask. It's going to be blue, and that's the only thing I was basing it off of. All the rest of this was just kind of off the cuff. And it turned out pretty badass, if I must say so myself. But I could give you some tips and tricks as to how to make a really cool mask for Army of Two. I've made several really cool ones thus far, so uh, just figured I'd show you the process as I was doing it here. I was just trying out different things. In the beginning, you saw that I made the entire mask green, and the reason why I did that is so that I could. It normally gives you a black mask to start off with, and I made the whole mask green so I could see the outline of the entire mask. So I can line things up correctly as far as like things that you would use for the full face. And right now I'm just experimenting around. I thought that particular design looked really cool, and I made it silver. So I was actually just going to flip it, and there's a mirror option, but I found that these masks aren't really 100% symmetrical, so I just did it by hand and flipped it and mirrored it around so that it's in place right there. So at this point, I have kind of like a really good direction of where I'm going. I'm like, okay, it's fading from black into blue into like a really like sky blue color. And I actually changed that sky blue color a little bit later to like a little bit of a more like of an actual sky blue as opposed to a teal. And I also wanted the mask to have scratches in it, so it looked like this guy's been wearing it for a while, like it's been used. That's a particularly cool shape right there that I had. I actually used that on the very first mask that I made. And these are the scratches, and I was messing around with them here, but I decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to add those in at the very last moment so that they're the very top layer so that they cut through everything. Um, so um, while I'm just messing around with the scratches and all of that here, and I'll wind up deleting them in a second, I'm just going to say that there's no wrong way to make a mask in here. All I'm doing is just using, whatever looks cool to me at the time, and I'm just throwing it in there. One really cool thing I did on one of my other uh, very favorite masks, it's actually the second mask that I made. Uh, I made it asymmetrical so that it wasn't like 100% symmetrical with the mask, and that turned out pretty well, if I do say so. But right now, you can just see me like I'm just cruising through, looking at different things, rotating them around, seeing if they work. I actually did wind up using this shape, but not like that. Um, I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Like, I wonder if I can make the whole thing go straight down the middle. Then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to make it go down so it stops at like his nose. And of course, I'm making these all silver. The silver color in here is actually really cool because it looks silver. It doesn't look gray. It actually reflects as silver, so it turns out pretty good. And this whole process took me about half an hour. I did speed it up if you can't tell. I'm not this fast. But the majority of, yeah, it was actually a pretty cool shape, but I decided not to use it. Kind of looks more like a mustache, I think. I'll probably use that in another mask that I build. But I was like, oh, you know what I did on the one of the very first masks that I made? I made it look like there was a mouth grill. So I put that in there and I made that black, so it actually turned out pretty well. And let's see here. Um, oh yeah, another helpful hint I could give you too is, let me see if I'm starting on the eyes yet. Or am I just screwing around? Can't tell. Oh, I might be adding the scratches here. Um, Getting the outline of the eyes sucks horribly because they don't have a shape that actually fits the eyes 100%. So that's the majority of my time right there when I actually decided to start doing the eyes. And I'm moving that mouth layer to the very top. So it looks like when the scratches are going through the mouth part of it, they actually cut off. So it looks like there's an actual mouthpiece there. At least that was my intention. So I'm adding these scratches on. And there's only really one good scratch pattern in here, and what I'm doing is I'm flipping and rotating it all over the place so that it doesn't look like I'm repeating it. And the dreaded eyes. I know this is when I started to work on the eyes. I was pretty happy with this, but I did change up the colors just ever so slightly, and you'll see that when it cuts over to real time. This is the shape that I use for the eyes, and I think it was meant to be used for the eyes, but you can see me here. I'm moving it all around, trying to get it as well in there as I can. It is very, very difficult. I will say that if there's anybody out there who knows an easier way to highlight the eyes other than using this particular shape and, messing around and trying to get it to fit in there and also, have it match the other eye, it sucks. It's horrible. Okay, so now I've cut to after I've got done with the eyes. And I did angle the right side as you're looking at it, the right side of the face, to match up, or to have that one big scratch go right through his eye. I thought that looked pretty cool. And now I'm picking this particular blue color, so it goes from like a dark blue to a lighter blue to that sky blue. And there we go. That mask is done. I used 10 layers. You can use up to 12. You don't have to use all 12. Very rarely do I actually use all 12 because it winds up getting too busy. So let's go into the actual game here, and let's go to like a good cutscene and see how it turns out. With the game lighting and the game engine and everything going on in there. Let's cut out this loading screen here, speed it up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's definitely blue. I have achieved my goal, making a blue mask. And I say that looks pretty badass. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you don't like it. Tell me what you would do differently. Who knows? Like I said, there's no real wrong way to make a mask. I just threw this one together. I had nothing in mind other than the fact that I wanted it to be blue. And there should be a good amount of close-ups here.
What do you mean too easy?
I was hardly bound. Guarded by one punk guard who couldn't get his safety off before I choked him out.
Damn.
Yeah, that does sound odd.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty damn good. So, again, tell me what you think. Leave a comment, subscribe, throw a like up there if this was helpful for you. Again, just follow the steps. I know it was in fast forward, but just follow the steps that I used if you want to create the same mask or make something similar to it. And any other masks that I have, I'll throw up there. And stay tuned for the official review of Army of Two Devil's Cartel. This is Lost Sandman saying, peace out.
Bye bye.